Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Hello, everybody. Welcome. If I come in fuzzy or anything like that, StreamYard is giving the stupid fucking Wi-Fi symbol at the top of my screen, even though I'm connected via Ethernet. So StreamYard.
You're black now. You're just a blank black screen for me.
Well, I'm fuzzy on the YouTube side because fuck StreamYards.
Yeah.
It's an Ethernet cable, and it's giving me like the low Wi-Fi signal thing, and I'm like, you fuckers are pieces of shit. But you're the only goddamn like source outside of your OBS that we can use to stream now.
Yep. Don't you just love StreamYard?
Yeah. Anyway, thanks StreamYards, assholes. Anyway, so sorry. Hopefully, like it'll get better. But we'll be talking Jurassic Park from 1993. So like one of like not the only, but prior to the 2000, like the mid 2010s, when it really started going to shit with Hollywood, when Hollywood put out actual decent films, actual decent film adaptations, I should say, of novels, because Jurassic Park is based on a novel by Michael Crichton, as is The Lost World. So both of those movies are based off of books written by Michael Crichton. I actually prefer, in terms of the comparison with the books, I prefer this film adaptation to the book. But with Lost World, I think I actually prefer the book to the movie. So
when I tried taking my first stab at the book, and only stab, to be completely honest, I was reading about a little girl. When I was reading about Jurassic Park, it's like this is the beginning scene from Lost World was basically what happened in the book, and I'm like, this is weird. So I just stopped. Of course, I was a lot younger at the time, folks.
It kind of is, but they don't show what happens to her in the movie for obvious reasons, because it's not pretty.
Up and then venomated.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Because I read the books. Like, it was years ago, arguably, but I read the books, and they, for good reason, like I said, they don't show everything that was happening to the little girl. But right now, like, we'll be talking about The Lost World next week. Like, as a Trace comment, like Nedry's death, they don't show what happens to him, I guess, necessarily in the first movie, but like when you read the book, it's holy shit.
That man died horribly.
Yes. So, because
horribly in the movie too, we just don't see.
Yeah, I'm saying it's like, we don't see what's exactly going on, but you read the book and it's described what's going on. It's okay. I can kind of understand why they didn't show everything that was going on. But it's very violent death that he faced. Same with Muldoon. We don't exactly see what's going on. We know what's going on. We don't exactly see it. He faced a violent death as well. So
he very much did.
But anyway, so like everyone who died in the book, like we see in the movie, pretty much, because there's a character that we see in the movie that actually had a bigger part in the book, but he was like drastically reduced for this film. I can't remember if he dies or not, but the one that we do see very violent in the book.
I do believe Lenny Wu did die after the events at Jurassic Park, because I remember seeing a commentary from one of the Jurassic World movies, and like, yeah, Wu's movie fate is a lot longer living than his book fate.
There's one of the guys driving the jeeps, like basically when they like first come onto the island. There's the driver of, I believe, the Jeep with Grant, Malcolm, and Ellie. Mm-hmm. He had a bigger part. Yeah. He was an actual character in the book, and they were basically just completely cut it, his character down to just that in the movie. But anyway, before I show the movie, when I say show the movie, I mean like stills here and there. I'm gonna say hello to the chat. So from the top, I see Gravy.
Hardy gravy.
Are these
And
characters?
yes, it's all autoerotica.
Yeah, pretty much. So when Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists.
These ones do.
Yeah. So it's like I like those Hammond's like, it's like when like Disney like first opened, nothing worked. And like Malcolm's like, yeah, but when Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but like that's one reason like Grant gives for not wanting to have children. Conrad,
Baby smell.
Yeah, see, nobody cares. like the give that people use, especially with SJW. It's like, see, nobody cares if you're offended.
Mm-hmm.
Jaluk, probably won't make it tonight. No worries, Jaluk. Hope you enjoy the replay. Again, sorry for my camera. I have no idea what's going on with StreamYard. StreamYard is a piece of shit. But hello, Trey. Soul Assassin, good to see you. Yeah, what they got in there? King Kong. And they go through the gates. Yeah, what do you call a blind dinosaur? Do you think Thesaurus? Citizen Ronan, what is up? Good to see you. Only negatives, Tim and Lex. I didn't mind Tim. Like, Tim is like really like young. So I'm fine with him. Arguably, it's Lex that as I got older after watching the movie for the first time, I was like, yeah, she could have gotten eaten, and I probably wouldn't have cared.
It was only after I saw this movie as an adult, like a few years back, after revisiting it from childhood, that I actually understood the full context of the "Do you think Thesaurus" thing. Oh. And then also, what's her name, who plays Lex, actually did a camera comparison or a selfie thing where she's lifting up the spoonful of Jello. Or now and 31 years ago.
Yeah. So I'm making sure you don't miss anyone. Yes, I'll be on Orange Chat channel tomorrow talking The Saints with Val Kilmer. So yeah.
It's going to be on X exclusively, folks.
Cappy Nova, good to see you. Psychotic Mongoose, what is up? Bradley Scott, good to see you guys. So if I miss anyone, I do apologize. Mike Hill, hello. Yes, this is my kick. I do gaming. I've been like dual streaming now to Kick and Twitch, just so I don't completely neglect Twitch. Yeah. But yeah.
But yeah, folks.
Good to see you.
To give you guys full context, they pulled and completely completely erased my our single stream from last time, the Demolition Man. So for the foreseeable future, I am only doing singles on X. And if y'all need to know how to do it on X, follow me on X. Go onto your PC or even your phone. Click the dang notification bell. You'll be notified when I go live. That's the best way to actually find or watch it there. And don't be afraid to comment on X too. I mean, I see all the comments in StreamYard now. They actually
I've never seen 10,000 BC. I think I'm like, I don't remember. I don't remember seeing it. It kind of sounds familiar, but at the same time, it's like it did not leave an impression on me, I guess.
Yeah. When I saw 10,000 BC and I saw the character in that played one of the bad guys, and then I saw him in Sherlock Holmes 2, The Game of Shadows, and his voice was completely different. It's like there is some weird Hollywood movie fuckery going on here, man.
They wanted a PG-13 rating, which is like I said, understandable, because if you read the book, which I do recommend at least in comparison to the films, because the Lost World is based on the sequel to Jurassic Park, Lost World. Just as a comparison to the film adaptations, just like give you I'll go into this again when we talk about Lost World, but to give you like one big thing that they changed in that film adaptation is Malcolm does have a daughter. He does have a daughter in the books. It's not like that's a completely made up character for the film. But here's the big but. Yeah. All right. She's white in the book. She's white in the book, and she has a male friend who is black. All right, those are the two characters, okay? So, those are the kids, essentially, in the sequel book. When they did the film, they got rid of the male black friend and made the daughter black, supposedly biracial because her dad's Ian Malcolm. And I'm like, there's nothing fucking biracial about her.
Yeah, she was full on black.
Yeah, like they mixed the two together.
But the thing
Why
is,
doesn't make any sense. But she doesn't look biracial at all.
They wanted, or I'm guessing they couldn't find a girl who was a proper gymnast or something or whatever. So I'm guessing that's why they had her. Because I do believe that girl was an actual gymnast.
I'm pretty sure they could have found one. I think that.
But then again, I don't think it was agenda driven either. Not like today's stuff either.
So I wouldn't say necessarily it's agenda driven, but it was stupid.
I mean, it was. Yeah, it's. I mean, there's always problems here, or there's always issues here and there.
Two things I find confusing. Thank you for the super chat, Michael. Two things I find confusing about Malcolm is that he said he had 3 kids, but only one was mentioned in the Lost World, which is the one you do see. And he seems he was single in Jurassic Park, but was dating Sarah at the time mentioned in Lost World. Well, I think that's like more of the film adaptations problems than anything. Yeah. So, because I had to go back and reread Lost World.
Malcolm's a rock star, man. He gets his bitches.
So
Vince Vaughn character even called it out in the movie. It's like, do you see any similarity? Yeah, I do remember that. Good to see you.
Who gets killed by raptors? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's like characters like we don't see all the deaths that were in the books.
Yeah, Wu becomes the hero now in the Jurassic World movies.
Yeah, I know. Which is
it's like the one man that fucked them all is the one man to save them all.
So, like I said, I didn't mind the kids. Well, I mean, didn't mind Tim.
Tim grew up to be the base to Queen. So yeah.
Yeah, it's the camera is just I don't know. I still have the stupid Wi-Fi icon in the left-hand screen for StreamYard, which doesn't make any sense. Like I said. Which doesn't make any sense, like I said, because it's connected via Ethernet. Yeah. So,
yeah, shit happens. Probably
she was race swapped.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it was agenda driven, but she was race swapped.
It's probably the weather in your area.
Yeah, it could be. He was hitting on Ellie. He was hitting on Ellie, but he was like he was a rock star. He was a player, so even if he was dating Sarah at the time, he could still be hitting on Ellie. So.
And then he stopped hitting on Ellie the second that
he found out
Alan
and she were together.
Oh,
so
sorry,
I'm like saying,
are you and her? Yeah. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Hey Chunk, good to see you. But anyway, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so again, apologize for the camera, but let me just share my screen. We're not going to talk about everything.
Yeah.
With this film for obvious reasons, but. Okay, thank you, Peacock, you piece of shit. Yeah. All right.
Ooh, the amber.
Yes, so I wanted to show this. There is a scene prior to this, which is awesome. We see Muldoon. You see basically these men helping him with a container. We don't know exactly what we have an idea of what's in the container from obviously knowing what this movie is about. We don't see what's in the container. However, what's in the container ends up killing at least one of the men.
Female.
Yes, because he says shoot her, and we find out the reason why he knows it's a female later on in the film because of what the scientists are doing, monkeying around with dino DNA and the frog's DNA by mixing the two and making sure that they control the sexes of the dinosaurs in the park, so they don't breed without the scientists knowing. However, to quote Ian Malcolm and Alan Grant later on in the film, life finds a way. Malcolm was right.
Yeah.
Anyway, and this is what they use, basically. This is what they use. And this is not far off from what scientists have been trying to do and basically reconstructing, because they were actually trying to do it, reconstructing
Dino.
Well, not just dinosaur, but mammoth DNA.
Oh, yeah, they've been trying.
They found mammoth, basically frozen mammoth. And they trying to extract the DNA to see if they can recreate one.
They're having oxygen problems with the mammoth DNA right now.
Yeah, which if you know, basically back then during the
It was a very
that
highly
era,
oxygen-rich environment.
which is why the trees and the creatures themselves were quite large. So if they were to create, so sorry to spoil anyone's, burst anyone's bubble by wanting to recreate dinosaurs, they could technically, I guess, be recreated now with the proper DNA and
They'll be smaller
methodology, but they'd be drastically smaller.
and different.
So, yeah, they're like woolly mammoth, Tasmanian tiger, basically animals that have gone extinct. They're trying to see if they can like bring them back.
I mean, I know everybody calls it a tiger, but the damn thing is a freaking, or is not feline in any shape, way, or form.
It's the
They
name.
only call it a tiger because it was striped. It's a
I know, but
fucking
it's the name
Tasmanian
that they
wolf.
gave it, so.
And I've seen it called a
It's
Tasmanian
believed that they
wolf.
would have feathers too, because birds,
Yep.
modern day birds, are dinosaurs are the ancestors of modern day birds. So
Man, when the Jurassic Park movies came out, Discovery Channel freaking just blew up with dinosaur stuff.
oh yeah, walking with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a
And-
whole debate that
Stretched on for a good decade.
that was like for the longest time that I remember, amongst paleontologists and those who love dinosaurs, about whether or not the T-Rex was a hunter or a scavenger, and each side would give plausible reasons why it was either or. And I'm sitting here like looking at them debating back and forth, and I'm like, well, from what I learned about lions, all right, because lions are basically considered hunters. They're king of the jungle. They're considered hunters. Well, lions will also scavenge if they can't hunt for whatever reason. All right, hyenas are considered scavengers. They're known to be scavengers. However, they will hunt if the opportunity arises. So I'm like, why couldn't the T-Rex be both?
The thing is,
opportunistic hunter, but will scavenge if you can't find any prey.
Tyrannosauruses were found in the United States, so there was a chance that they were more hunter than scavenger. However, they would scavenge if need be. Yep. However, there is another dinosaur that was found in Africa that is the African cousin to the T-Rex, the Tarbosaurus rex, which was considered a half and half, which means half of the time it was scavenging, half the time it was hunting. Mm-hmm. It was basically opportunity.
Yeah, so it's like I said, basically but I remember that whole debate going on because there were sides that believed one or the other, and I'm looking at basically the animal kingdom, and the animal kingdom is showing us it could have been both.
Mm-hmm. It could have been both easily. Also, the skeletal structure of a T-Rex was highly analyzed over the last 20 years recently, but they also found that these things had a very it had a hinge in its neck that allowed it to do a lot of headbutting and neck movement and stuff that wasn't normal for most vertebrates at the time.
I don't know why this won't let me skip forward without playing. It wasn't letting me, but I wanted to get to. I wish I could play these scenes, but this is where we first see Alan Grant and Ellie Sadler, two of the main characters, and they're excavating a raptor skeleton. Before they excavate, basically, they create this image so they could see basically where to dig.
In reality, folks,
this scene with the kid,
yeah,
I would do the same thing Grant did with that kid.
Oh yeah, scare the fuck out of him with with reality. Well, as much as reality permits in this, because folks, these are not velociraptors. Mm-hmm. These are what's known as not Utah Raptors.
Yeah,
Utah. No, Deinonychus. They were the ones that were, Deinonychus were the ones that were designed or that the raptors were designed around. Mm-hmm. However, Utah Raptors were this size as well.
Yeah, so.
Because velociraptors, they only come up to your hips.
Yeah, I'm saying the velociraptors, themselves, they're not that big. Yeah. But the ones that they used in here, basically, all right, was based around the Deinonychus, and they were would be the size of the Utah Raptors.
Yeah.
So as entertaining as the film is, they do get some things a little wrong, or they take liberties with the dinosaurs basically.
They found this shit out later on after the movie was made, really.
So fuck Norris.
That was just they went with what they knew.
Yeah, and Jacob. I'm not saying it's like them basically. It's just like they. So there's like some liberties, but at the same time, it's like they're going with what was known at the time.
Yeah.
And then, oh shit, okay, that's not a velociraptor. That's actually this. So,
and Gigawatt, if you're going to quote this movie, you get that shit correct, boy. It's a 6-foot turkey. It's not a big turkey.
And Mr. Bentham.
Anonicus Utahraptors.
Like I said, I would have done the same thing with the kid, where he's like slash you here, and here, right down
across
the
the belly, spilling your intestines.
The point is, they're alive. You're alive when they start to eat you, so try to show a little respect. Just put the fear of God into the little shit, pretty much. Like, you're gonna call it a 6-foot turkey. Okay, this 6-foot turkey would do this to you if given the opportunity. And it's like, and it wouldn't just be one 6-foot turkey, it would be multiple 6-foot turkeys, because the one you're focused on is not the one that's going to kill you. It's the two that come from the sides.
Yep. He looks at you.
Because they're smart.
Or you look at him, and he stares right back. That's when the attack comes. Not from the front, but from the sides. It's like the kid is just he's just in that zone. And that's when he scares the fuck out of him. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if Sam Neill would have went boom, that kid would have frickin' just had complete intestinal evacuation.
Yeah. The irony, as someone once said with this film, is that when Alan despises kids at first, towards the end, after what happens in the park, he actually seems to detract his former comment. So he's like, basically
he has a more paternal instinct.
Yeah. He develops a more paternal instinct, basically. So, but like that wasn't enough, at least in the subsequent films, because spoiler alert, you find out that he and Ellie splits, because like even with paternal instincts that flare up, basically while he's protecting these children in Jurassic Park, he still didn't want kids, which basically is a deal breaker. Can be a deal breaker. Wasn't there a theory that the turkey gave us Chris Pratt's character in the World movies? I guess so. I never bothered with the Jurassic World movies because I found out enough to tell me I shouldn't bother. I didn't want to bother watching them.
They have their own entertainment quality. However, that second one really fucking rips your heart out in one scene.
I wouldn't know because I didn't see it. So I wouldn't know what
if you don't want an emotional, or if you don't want your heart ripped out, Mara, just don't watch it.
Does that have to do with dinosaurs? Because if it's human dying, I probably
it's a dinosaur dying.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to.
In an absolute there was no way to avoid it, but it's still very sad.
Well, like I said, if it's humans, I probably wouldn't care. Like animals,
brachiosaur.
Dinosaurs, I wouldn't. I'd be like, no.
It's a brachiosaur.
Yeah. And
let me tell you, I almost walked out of the fucking theater that day.
I wouldn't blame you.
I mean, it's like I want to see this movie. I want to check it out. Oh, fuck you. My mom's and my brother were in the theater too, and it's like, I'm getting up, but then I stop myself, and it's like, fuck, got to see this movie.
But anyway, so like briefly, basically, because we're gonna get basically to the park. The characters themselves, basically, Sam Neill plays Alan Grant, and Laura Dern plays Ellie Sadler. And in the book, she's basically like a grad student, so she's young, basically in her mid 20s thereabouts, basically, and she's like developed a relationship with Alan Grant. But what, I guess aside from comparing it to the book, what did you think about their performances in the movie?
The acting was very good. I mean, this was back in, you weren't really, or people weren't focused on 2020 hindsight or anything like that. They just focused on the job. They weren't focused on any activism. They were focused on the job. And these movies, even when you are not focused on any of that shit, you are actually putting out a better performance. I mean, 90s versus 2010s, you will see a very big difference in the acting style of many a character and many an actor and actress. And these two, I absolutely love them because the roles seem to fit for the actor and actress, Sam Neill and Laura Dern. But now, fucking Laura Dern has to pipe up her goddamn mouth or freaking open up her mouth and is like, yeah, that relationship was very inappropriate. It's like, shut the fuck.
She's coming from the perspective of, like, how old she was when she made the film, and I'm looking at it from the perspective of, like, how old her character is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And, like, there's not that big of an age gap. Like,
because
it's really not like that big at all.
How old was Grant in the book?
I think he was in his 30s, basically. I think he was like 10 years old or something like that. So, like, really not that big of an age gap.
And they're like 20 years in real life. And it's like, for fuck's sake, Onassis anybody? I mean, if you know, you know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but like, she's coming from the perspective of how old she was when she made this. And yeah, she looks 30. She's like in her early 20s, but she looks 30.
Yeah.
Like she does like older. But I'm saying, like, you know, it's like, but she's coming from that perspective, and I'm like, well, no, you're playing a character, and the character is this in comparison to Alan Grant, and like it's not that big of an age gap.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have thought 20s either, because I'm looking at her because I thought she was like in her late 20s at the earliest.
Yeah, when I saw this movie, I looked at her and I looked at my mom. It's like, she must be your age. When I first saw this movie, which was 93, so I was 8 years old, and it's like, yeah, I looked at mom. It's like, yeah, she looks like she kind of. Well, actually, she does kind of look like my mom in a way. Yeah, nowadays, and still does. But it's like, yeah, my mom was in her 30s at that time.
Okay. So I'm skipping forward, chat, so we can basically like get to basically the island. Because there's not a lot of build up, but like you have to like meet like certain characters, and one of the characters you do have to meet is Richard Attenborough playing John Hammond.
His enthusiasm and his eccentricity. Attenborough was masterfully played this character, man. Spared no expense.
Yes.
It's like, dude, yes. I mean,
he was like perfect casting for Hammond, or at least like the adaptation of Hammond in this film. He was perfect casting.
Yeah. I want that freaking cane of his, man. I like canes, folks. I collect canes. I mean, I got a cane right here, but it's like, if I could get my hand on that, or get my hands on that fucking cane, my life is complete.
Yeah. As I said, like for the film adaptation, because I don't see Richard Attenborough could play a character like this because he's a very good actor, but I think this was better.
Yeah, Crichton, or I do believe Crichton did actually have a problem with the movie as it was being made. He's like, you guys are totally changing my fucking characters around.
Which, like, no offense, Michael Crichton, but that's why I said the film adaptation for Jurassic Park, in my opinion, was better than the book.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. I like a lot of stuff here and there when it comes to the written word and stuff. Believe me. I mean, I just got a few books today, the Throne trilogy. But it's like, I've read a lot of. Have you ever read James Patterson's Zoo?
No.
Oh, that was a good book.
Okay.
You take a look at the show, it is complete. It's like, who the fuck wrote this show? It was nuts. Totally different. The only thing that was comparative was names.
So was the book better or the show?
Book was infinitely better. Book was infinitely better because they even put the fucking wokeness shit in that show too. It was fucked up, man.
Okay. I'll have to try to check it out, pretty much. But like, this is Richard Attenborough. He was around even prior to this movie for decades in film. One movie I remember off the top of my head seeing him in, a younger version, like basically his younger self. If you enjoy war films that show basically the prisoner of war side during World War II, The Great Escape.
Mm.
He's one of the soldiers in the prison camp, along with Steve McQueen, I believe James Coburn. So like good oh, Donald Pleasance is in that movie as well. So like basically a rounded cast of, I don't want to necessarily say who's who, essentially in Hollywood, but basically names that you would recognize in The Great Escape, and he was one of the prisoners in The Great Escape. So if you have not seen that movie, I recommend watching it. For basically the side of the war, like the prisoner of war side of World War II. Yes, he also was in the remake of Miracle on 34th Street. However, I do prefer the original Miracle on 34th Street.
I've seen both.
Yeah, I did also. I'm saying basically names that you would recognize: Charles Bronson, James Coburn, Richard Attenborough, Steve McQueen, Donald Pleasance. You would recognize the names. So yes, Dr. Loomis and Hammond did a movie together. So James Garner, I believe, was in it as well. So
they even brought Richard Kiley in for this film.
Yeah. So, but like I said, it's again kind of comparing it to his character in the book. This was infinitely better because if he was an asshole, you would not feel any sympathy for what's going on with the park. When basically having him as kind of like a big kid, he's almost like a big kid, pretty much in his mind. It's like I'm bringing dinosaurs back so the public can basically relive their childhoods almost, because just about every kid you would meet growing up when you were younger, you would love to learn about dinosaurs. So he was coming from good intentions. So when shit goes down later on in the movie, you actually feel sympathy for him.
Yep.
What's going on. But versus basically him being an asshole in the book, you don't give a shit pretty much about.
He's not your in the book, he's your stereotypical rich asshole. In the movie, he's an ass, or he's a rich guy that cares.
Yeah, I'm saying he's coming from good intentions.
Yeah.
And what happens in the park ostensibly is not his fault. So you can't help but feel sorry for what happens ultimately when everything goes down. Because that fault lies on another character, Dennis Nedry, that we'll be talking about. I believe,
yeah, right next.
His scene is coming up
right here.
And
Dodgson.
Yeah.
The famous scene. Dodgson.
Yes.
Dodgson. We got Dodgson here.
Nedry played by Wayne Knight, and I think probably, Wayne Knight was in quite a bit, particularly in the 90s, but I'd say probably what he was maybe best 80s, known 90s, for was as Newman in Seinfeld, basically Seinfeld's arch nemesis, the mailman.
Well, in movies, he only had a few roles at that time. One movie in particular is Basic Instinct. He was the guy that really noticed that leg opening scene.
Oh yeah, I'm saying he was in movies, but you see his face and it's Newman.
Dude lost 15 pounds just by sweating.
Oh, yeah. So,
but in this,
after playing Dodson in prison, okay.
Watching as a kid and watching as an adult, you completely understand things in a different context when you watch this film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You also pay more attention to what they're saying, because as a kid, you just want to see the fucking dinosaurs and you don't care what this guy is saying.
Yeah. Here's basically here's where you get the nefarious scheme.
Yeah.
Essentially, which is, again, like I said, I don't you don't fault Hammond for what's going on. Could what have happened? Yes, anything's possible. Anything could have happened, but because of what Nedry does later on in the film to obtain the embryo samples of these dinosaurs for this man Dodson, basically this shadow company or organization that we basically don't know, these shady characters who are paying him money to get these embryos, this DNA, so they can create their own park, essentially, or do their own shits. Basically hacks into the performs like a hack into the system, shuts down the security, which shuts down the power, and guess what? Mayhem ensues.
Yeah.
So.
And we also have Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, it's like the shady company.
Yeah.
So it's like they cover enough. Basically, they cover enough to know he's nefarious. Yeah. So basically, he's hired for because of his computer tech knowledge for this park, but he's basically a double, like, I don't want to say double agents, basically, but like he's going to sabotage the park, basically.
Yeah. What did the guy who plays Dodson do?
Somehow the shaving cream can was found and was used in Jurassic World 3. They
did a video game, they did a video game sequel to this movie.
So I kind of get that, yeah, it's like shown and implied that it's buried, which means it was preserved. But for fuck's sakes, in Jurassic World 3. Anyway, Mazda's missing car keys. That's not the only thing that's missing from him, but thank you. Yeah, it's Newman. Yeah, I told you. It's like, that's where they know him from. Newman. From Seinfeld. Yeah, corporate spy, basically. Like, he's sabotaging the park. He wants to sabotage the park.
So what does actor do to get arrested?
I don't know. It's the first time I'm hearing about it. So Gigawatts.
Gigawatt. Give us some answers.
I can actually see Mazda looking like that. You mean the guy in the hat and glasses, or the Wayne Knight? Getting
fatty in the Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. Bikini Dino Stream win. Not anytime soon. So.
I mean, I can picture it, but anyway.
I want the Telltale game, Jurassic Park game, to get adapted into a movie. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, so. But the big thing, like, when
shit!
When you're a kid,
don't highlight that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna highlight that. Nope. Okay, I'm saying it. Yeah, no wonder.
Yeah.
I'm really not surprised, given it's Hollywood. But anyway, like, basically, like, I don't think there's like too much more we can say about this character. He is basically the linchpin in what happens. Acts like a Bosnian. Hey, Apollo. All right, so I got to skip forward.
And that fucking lawyer, man. That blood-sucking lawyer.
I still find it funny that he's the one that's gung-ho for the park. And the ones that basically... Alan Grant and Ellie Sadler are ostensibly, like, brought to the park to side with Hammond. At least that's in Hammond's mind. They'd side with him. But it's Malcolm, Grant, and Sadler who are against the park opening for good reasons. And it's the blood-sucking lawyer that's all about opening the park up and making money.
Yeah, and this lawyer is like full. It's like, we're going to charge like $10,000 a day, $20,000 a day, and people will pay it if they want to see these attractions. It's like, and Hammond's like, dude, we are not going to cater this to the super rich. Okay, well, we'll have a coupon day.
Yeah,
and it's like, seriously?
He does play. The actor's name. When I got to like go back to the cast
have
list.
I seen him in?
Played by Martin Ferrero. So Gennaro the lawyer, and like Martin Ferrero does a very good job playing like this slimy-esque lawyer. Where like as soon as he sees dollar signs, he's ready to get the paperwork going to get this park up and running, pretty much.
But he also was telling, or before he even saw the dinosaurs and stuff, he's like, if they're not going, or if the investors aren't convinced, I'm not going, or if I'm not convinced, they're not convinced. I'll shut you down, John. Yeah, in 48 hours, I'll be accepting your apologies.
Yeah. Well, we all know what happens in that 48 hours, basically.
Yeah, nobody had to apologize to anybody because one of them died.
Yes. So it's like, when you got to go, you got to go.
Oh, my God. Yeah. That was so... I just love Rexy's reaction. It's like,
He stares at him.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is this? Is it tasty?
Yeah.
Well, after cleaning out his tank, or after cleaning out his tanker, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a little bit tastier.
He ditched the kids with the quickness, yeah. The only one on my side is a blood-sucking lawyer, yeah.
Yeah, I love that line.
Like he ran
Thank
out
you.
of the Jeep. He ran out of the Jeep to the porta potty that's by
Yeah.
the side of the road. That gets knocked over by the T-Rex when the T-Rex is going after Malcolm. And there's the lawyer sitting on the toilets.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So,
Anywho.
okay, so the Malcolm character, played by Jeff Goldblum.
God, the Rockstar. I mean, Rockstar was a good. He calls him a rock star in this, and it's like that. I mean,
The Rockstar was
very
right.
much. Yeah,
He acts very much like a rock star, but the Rockstar was right.
I mean, Jeff Goldblum has a way of saying things. And it's not just the style; it's him in real life. Jeff Goldblum plays Jeff Goldblum just with different fucking names.
Mm-hmm.
I
know. Yeah, he plays himself pretty much, just with like different character names.
And it's like, holy crap, man.
So it's like in a way, I love Jeff Goldblum, but Jeff Goldblum does play Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum plays Jeff Goldblum, but in some movies he plays it very well. In this movie, he plays it phenomenally.
Yes. So, but like Hammond kind of dismisses him because like he looks and is acting like a rock star pretty much, when in fact he's supposed to be a brilliant scientist in his own right, basically a mathematician, I should say. He's more of like a mathematician, chaos theory, basically. So he's brilliant. Yeah, he's a brilliant man. But to look at him, yeah, like you would kind of like agree with Hammond. It's like, I bring scientists, you bring a rock star, pretty much.
And then the lawyer's like, "Who, me? What the fuck?"
Yeah. Yes. So it's like,
well, you did it.
He did Independence Day 3 years later, pretty much. I'm saying like you look at like Jeff Goldblum's like his movies across the board, he kind of plays himself most of the time. Like even you can't really see the poster that well, but Buckaroo Banzai, he's in that.
Yeah.
Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, he's in that.
I mean, as much as I hate Thor Ragnarok, he was good in that one. It's like, why are you whispering? But yeah. it's like, why are you whispering?
I'm saying to an extent, I love him because like he does have good comedic timing.
Oh yes.
But
that man is a comedic genius.
So yeah, I'd say it's probably Independence Day is probably like and it's like he's like known for that. It's basically like very much a Jeff Goldblum role. That's again portrays like his very not Jeff Goldblum role. So I'm saying like he doesn't always play himself, but for the most parts he does.
Dialogue wise, he plays himself.
Yes,
like very much.
Where do I rank The Fly? I'd say it would be in terms of like overall movies or overall Jeff Goldblum movies. Because if I like rank overall Jeff Goldblum movies, I put it in like the top 3. Even though it's a remake of the original The Fly, it's very good and very unnerving, especially near the end. Anyway,
moving on.
It's very unnerving, but it would be in my top 3 if you're talking about like specifically Jeff Goldblum films. Moving on.
Yeah, he has some of the best dialogue in this movie, especially at the dinner table.
Yes.
He's like, you didn't earn the knowledge yourself, and even before you knew what you had, you patented it, this and that, and it's like you're selling it. And as I'm watching this, and I'm hearing this conversation between him and Hammond, I'm thinking to myself, dude, did this guy just describe Disney and Star Wars? I mean, I was watching it recently, and it's like, son of a bitch. It's
man here driving the Jeep. This is the one I said that does have a bigger role in the book.
Yep.
So I can't remember the character's name, but he does have a bigger part in the book, and he was basically cut, with the exception of driving the Jeep to this, pretty much
driver
for the film. Yeah. That's it.
And it's, I mean, did they ever find out why the dinosaurs were sick? I mean, toxic plants and shit, but it's like, were they eating the stones that were near the plants or some shit?
I'd have to reread the book because it's been years since I read it. I don't even know if they actually like covered that, but it's like in the movie, they definitely like, you don't know what's making the Triceratops sick. Yeah. But this shot here coming up after this, and I went like YouTube. I'm just playing a little bit. It has no fucking sound, but I remember seeing this in theater, and it's like you talk about like scenes that like are burned into your memory, basically.
1 second. I'm gonna ask Google.
Mm-hmm. This scene, YouTube, just seeing.
Oh, yes.
This shot of the Brachiosaurus.
Yeah, that was absolute magic back then. Yep, the stones it eats are too close to the poisonous West Indian lilac berries. So, yeah, they were getting sick because they were eating the stones to grind up the shit.
Okay.
Well, so I mean,
West Indian lilac, yeah.
Yeah.
People can all relate, yes. But that shot, and then him getting out, it's like
the music. I mean, this is what's known as a perfect scene.
Yeah. I mean, I was a kid when I saw this movie for the first time, but like watching it again as an adult, it's like you're a kid again.
Yes.
It's like you'd be like, it's a dinosaur.
Yeah. I mean, this is, folks, John Williams did a lot of his best work in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s, obviously, with Star Wars. Yes. But he did a lot of his best work in the 90s. And this scene where you see where this music just starts to crawl in as you see the brachio going up, it is just absolute perfection.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, damn, man, this is just so emotional.
Like that.
It captures it.
Up. And then this, I'm going to get to this. Oh, I love this when it like goes up on its hind legs.
Yep. Fucking Jurassic World ruined that for me.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when when the fucking dinosaur dies, because lava hits it. You fuckers. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm making you suffer with me.
You got T-Rex. I love this. Like,
oh, yeah.
Dr. Grant, my dear Dr. Sadler. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Yep.
And this shot here.
Parasaurolophus.
I just want to get like a freeze frame of it.
Come on.
Parasaurolophus, Brachiosaurus.
Okay. And possibly some pteranodons, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of...
Or some birds,
like,
just birds.
Yeah, it's like birds, but...
Yeah. But the Parasaurolophuses, Brachios...
Looks like some maybe... looks like there's like one or two, like maybe like a Gallimimus there or not, but I can't really tell. But basically, definitely Parasaurolophus and Brachiosaurus. But hey, Gerfalcon. But basically, like again, like this whole like segment from the first time we see the Brachiosaurus, and then like the shots, like he's like, "Welcome to Jurassic Park," and you look over, and it's like literal herds of dinosaurs moving.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the score.
It's just absolute master class, man.
Yeah.
And I remember having to watch this in 7th grade. So 7th grade I was like 12, so 97. This movie was like 4 years old. And we were learning about cellular mitosis and stuff that's actually mentioned in the movie and whatnot. And we had to do freaking assignments on it, and it's like I failed my assignment so bad because I couldn't watch this movie to pay attention to the dialogue as a kid. I could only watch it to enjoy it.
Yeah,
I have ADHD, folks. I just couldn't watch it to think about science and shit. It's like, fuck the science. I'm here for the dinosaurs, you know. It's like, holy shit. But now as an adult, it's like, well, yeah, now I can hear this and actually understand it.
Yeah, so I'm skipping over like they go through like the presentation, see the lab, and which is
Wu.
Like Wu, who in the book dies, but is kept alive for later films, basically. This is where they find out exactly how they're manipulating after the presentation and so forth, and into the lab, how they're manipulating the DNA. to ensure that there's no outside breeding amongst the dinosaurs to control the population. And that is basically they monkey with the DNA so that way only females are born, basically. Well, as again Malcolm points out, which is like what I appreciate, is that life finds a way. Which comes to play later on in the film because, as Grant remembers, because they use frog DNA, and he says there's certain species of frogs that will change their sex in the single-sex environment to ensure basically the procreation of the species.
Amphibian. Any frog could do it.
Yeah, I'm saying basically like he's like going through and remembering, and they're using frog DNA, so these dinosaurs basically are, I don't care what you fucking trans weirdos say, basically. They're only changing their sex because they have to procreate the species. They're doing that because they're in single-sex environments. And guess what? They need 2 fucking sexes to do that.
Yeah, and by the way, folks, we're not amphibian.
Yes. So it's more of a survival instinct than just, oh, I feel like a fucking girl now. Basically, no. Yeah. It's a survival instinct, pretty much. So it's nothing to do with gender identity or some bullshit like that. But anyway, I'm going to kind of skip over parts because I was telling Orange that kind of had to be done by about 10 p.m. And I want to get the dinosaurs, like the actual, essentially the meat of the movie, essentially, like when the shit goes down.
Fucking dinosaur shit. Let's get to the Velociraptor shit. It's the next scene, I do believe. Muldoon.
Yeah, I generally skip over the scene where they feed the Velociraptors. But I just don't like hearing. I don't like hearing what's happening to the cow. But
the dog's eating.
What?
That's the sound that was made. It was dogs eating.
Yeah, but again, I'm like hearing this as a kid and getting traumatized by it.
But I love the dialogue in this because he's actually explaining just how smart these things are, and he's like extremely intelligent. Yeah, just like when
problem solving. This is where you really meet the Muldoon character.
Mm-hmm.
You see him in the beginning, but here's where it's like he's basically kind of amongst the staff here that we see that he's
gamekeeper.
But he's also actually paying attention. He's watching the dinosaurs as well, and he's like, they're testing. They're testing the fencing. They're looking for weaknesses. Like they're learning. Because he's observing actually observing the dinosaurs versus just basically creating them in the lab. He's watching them in their environment. So he's basically kind of the warning here.
Yeah.
They're
they remember.
They're learning. They remember. That's how smart they are.
Roland Timbo or something.
Yeah, he knew what they were capable of. And he's saying they never attack the same place twice. They learn. And they're testing
Soul Assassin? Sorry. Soul Assassin, I'm willing to bet that Roland and Muldoon may have known each other. I wouldn't put it past it that they may have in one life or another because but I would say that Roland was the better hunter because he actually bagged his prize.
So he probably knew they would break out, or at least he gut instinct. He would figure that they would.
Well, the female has them systematically attacking the fences. As soon as the damn things went out, she'd be like, "Get to it, we're out of here."
Yeah, I know. I'm saying it's but that was the system went down pretty much. So it's he's basically coming from they could break out. It's they're learning they could break out. The system goes down. This is basically what's basically powering the fences that's keeping basically the predators within a confined space for obvious fucking reasons. When that goes down, you said, the main female, basically the pack leader, is go for it. And the Velociraptors get out because they were testing it all along. So the big one, basically, so kind of like I said. Okay, so we don't see Sam Jackson's character just yet. But Tim and Lex, okay, real fast. What do you think about the kids?
Oh, these kids were annoying when I was a kid, and they are annoying as adults. They are the stereotypical annoying kid.
Yeah, like
The
I
kid
didn't
that
mind. Like I said, I don't
challenges.
mind Tim.
Yeah,
He's young.
he annoyed me the most, believe it or not, because he was just so fucking clingy. But then again, I understand because he likes to learn, he wants to learn, and he's like, "Would you just freaking watch this?" It's like,
Yeah,
all right, just shut up for a second, kid. And then also Lex kind of is obviously young girl crushing on a guy, but she's also an introvert, believe it or not. And a lot of people don't realize this. She calls herself a hacker, but she sits in a room all day. It's like she's an introvert. She's like
yeah,
me. She's gonna be more terrified and shit. So when people are saying that she is hysterical and all this stuff, it's like she's never been in this sort of situation because she doesn't like to be in these sorts of situations. So yeah, she's gonna be the one that freaks out the most.
her freaking out. I'm like, that's the part I understood because she's a kid. She's like,
Yeah,
obviously going to freak out. That's part I understood. It's just
like
like her
13.
demeanor in other scenes. I was like, you know what? I'm going to feed you to the Raptors.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I'm going to feed you to the Raptors at this point.
yeah.
I toss you to the two Raptors that are coming at us, and I just bolt basically at the end of the movie, pretty much. Like, here,
Right?
have her.
I mean, Tim is one of the luckiest fucking kids in this.
Yes,
He has plot armor that is stronger than any plot armor I have ever seen.
yeah,
This kid has been electrocuted. He's been freaking tossed down a cliff in a car.
yeah.
I mean, what hasn't this kid gone through?
So
Chased by dinosaurs.
chased by dinosaurs, basically.
It's like almost crushed by bones. So,
Yes,
it's like this kid would be like traumatized for years. Yet you see him in the part 2 where you get a small thing and it's like this kid's actually not that traumatized. Why?
pretty much.
But yeah,
Like I said, because I don't mind Tim. Like you said, he's the one that's like wanting to learn, asking all the questions, reading all the as much as he can about dinosaurs because he wants he basically wants to retain that knowledge, and he brings up Dr. Bacher.
yeah.
Like, he pronounces it Bacher, but it's pronounced Bacher, whom I've met basically.
You've
when
met the dude? Holy
yes.
shit.
Nice. Because so. But he basically brings up basically one of the world famous paleontologists of the time. I probably even ever pretty much. You basically read paleontology books. Inevitably, you're gonna read one by Dr. Bacher, pretty much.
Yeah,
All right,
brag about that shit.
But let's get to skip forward a little bit. Yeah. Basically,
Timmy's like that kid from National Treasure 2 that we did that challenged Nick Cage about the assassination of
oh yeah, kind of is.
Bob Barker, the cowboy, right? Or guy's right.
Yeah. I hate to be that guy, but it's Bakker, not Barker. Bakker, Bakker. Not Bob Barker, the host of the rest in peace, the former host of Price is Right. No, Bakker.
Yeah, Barker.
Yes.
But
like cowboy guy, he wore the cowboy hats basically, or like those hats. So
yeah. Well, Pilgrim.
Yeah. So, but I guess it's kind of skipping forward. I don't exactly want to hate, or I don't exactly want to not talk about Samuel L. Jackson's character, but we kind of have to skip forward to the dinosaurs a little bit. But
honestly, his character's just not important enough. I mean, as much as I like Samuel L. Jackson, he's just not important in this film.
Basically he's known for hold on to your butts.
Yep, hold on to your butts.
Pretty much. He's not a bad character, but it's just we have to skip forward, basically.
In this movie, he was the stereotypical black.
I want to skip forward. I'm even going to skip forward past the Triceratops.
We don't need to cover it as much.
But I'm going to get to Dancing Dre, basically cuts the power.
Yeah. Man undulates when we got to get to the T-Rex.
Yeah. So
because she's feeling that thing and
Basically,
Plus,
the footsteps were just like they used the sound of a sonic boom. So when
yeah.
when like the boom, boom, boom.
Let me tell you
like,
something. When I saw Timmy looking at that water, like start steadily breathing, I almost expected the kid to start screaming because when you're in the theater watching this, folks, at 8 years old, you are watching this wholly expecting some terrifying. And yes, Rexy was terrifying. The digital in this film, is so freaking good for the 90s.
Yeah, he's killed like we don't get his death scene because in the movie he's killed off screen, so you don't see it.
Yeah, they tore him up.
But here, okay, so I can't play the sound here because I'll be like hits. But who knows in the chat? Who knows what animal they used for the growling sound? Because they use a particular animal for the growling sound. Here. They use other animals for the roar, and I'll kind of like show a video, like just like basically not play it, but show you the list of like what they use for the roar.
Yes.
They use the roar is an elephant. They use an elephant for part of the roar.
Yeah, I just remembered that too. Just as that freaking hit in the StreamYard chat,
for the growl, they use another animal.
I don't know.
So not a seal, not a sea lion.
So crocodile, maybe, I don't know.
Where are you?
Could have been a lion.
Listen to this, folks.
No shit.
All right, sounds on.
Bear.
Okay.
Like that.
Koala.
Chlamydia bear.
Yeah, basically a drop bear in Australia.
The clapper. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
For the growl, it makes that sound, so they use a koala as part of that growl sound that they create.
The murder teddy.
Yes. AJRO Studios said, "The more you know." I saw that reel on Instagram and I couldn't fucking find it again, but then I found it on YouTube. It shows like, yeah, they went to the zoo because they're trying to find animal sounds to create for it. I'm not saying it's the only animal, but I'm saying they heard the koala make that sound and they added it to the T-Rex when they're creating the sounds for the T-Rex.
Was Ben Burt the sound mixer in this movie? I'm willing to bet he may.
But Gary Rydstrom.
Yep, he would have been another one that I was thinking of because he was also big back then.
Yeah. So this is specifically for the T-Rex. So basically, the T-Rex is a mix of animals, but for the growl sound, they use a koala as part of it, and for the roar and other stuff, just to show you this other video that you can find on YouTube.
Holy shit, man.
Shows you this right here. Sonic booms for the footsteps, and you have redwood trees, basically when it's like breaking through everything. Whale blowhole, alligator, lion, and baby elephant.
Oh yeah, the nostrils for the blowhole.
Yeah.
Also, have you noticed that this paddock for the Tyrannosaurus goes from flat ground in which this fucker can walk on to a chasm?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did that happen?
So, but this video is like basically very fascinating because he's going through, because like basically like when they're like creating, like when the sound designers are like going, like when they're making this movie, they're going to these paleontologists and they're like, what is it? What does this dinosaur sound like? And everyone they spoke with was like, I don't know. It's like, we don't know what they know. We don't know what they sounded like. So basically, they're trying to come up with what could a T-Rex possibly sound like? What could a Velociraptor possibly sound like? You know, they included the dolphin sounds for the Velociraptor, the high pitched sounds and things like that. Yeah. The low growl and the mix of these, like basically predators and the baby elephant for the roar. When it roars, you hear that elephant sound, like basically the baby elephant's like sounds.
The trumpeting, yeah.
Yeah, so and they combine it, and when that's another iconic scene is when the T-Rex basically walks through the opening in the fence and then just lets out the first roar.
Oh yeah, and it looks real, man. The freaking special effects in this scene look fucking real.
Yeah,
and yet you see that shit you see it in other movies, and it's like, why can't you get it as good as you had it in 1993?
That's why practical effects will always trump CGI.
And the
this is partly basically this is practical effects because the model they use basically based off of an actual skeleton for T-Rex Sue kept breaking.
And she kept on getting wet, and she kept on getting extremely heavy. And I mean, folks, Rexy we have to truly appreciate it because it was a fucking bitch to do this.
Yes. Yeah, there were digital parts because they couldn't exactly do it all practical effects, like when the wide shot of it walking when it gets to Gallimimus and so forth. But the headshot here, the close-ups, practical effects, basically. Practical effects.
Her walking around in this entire scene, anytime where she's walking around, that's digital.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the lighting and everything. A lot of people say that when you use nighttime shots to help your digital grading because you won't have to up your grading as much. But the thing is, they used it masterfully because they also had to use lights. And when you use lights, you do have to have that texture, and it still fucking worked.
Yes. It's amazing what you can achieve when you don't have a studio that makes you skim corners and give you crunch time to work on shit, pretty much. It's amazing what you can fucking achieve, pretty much.
When they tell you that it's get the shit done, you have till now, or you have till this time to do it. If you don't do it, you're fired.
Yeah.
That was back in the 90s, folks. Nowadays, just frickin' get it done. Jesus Christ, we're behind schedule. Delay. Okay, we lost interest.
Yeah, pretty much. So ILM, yeah.
Yes, Industrial Light and Magic.
Yeah, so, and like I said, I love, the lawyer runs out. He dipped with the quickness.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
I wish I could play this because it walks through and just lets out that roar for the first time. Oh, we saw it in theaters, and my dad was like a kid again, pretty much, because he's seeing basically dinosaurs on screen, a T-Rex.
Well, I was a kid at the time, so yeah.
T-Rex.
I mean, I was sitting next to my dad. I remember I was sitting next to my dad, and it's like, Dad, that's kind of creepy. I mean, it's iconic, folks. And a lot of people keep forgetting that is a she. So she's extra bitchy right now after eating that goat. And it's like, where the hell is something else? I'm still hungry.
Yeah. So it's well, not only is the dinosaur in the movie a she, but also, like I said, it's based on a T-Rex find that they called Sue.
Yep.
So.
And by the way, folks, Rexy here survives all the way up to the left, or she survives all the Jurassic movies.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, this was next level, and this was 1993.
Yep.
Early 90s, and it still holds up.
Yeah.
20 plus years later, still holds up.
That looks real.
Yes.
It looks like it's actually fucking in there. That's low, or that is high moonlight coming down. But it's not it's not moon, that's stage light. But it fucking works.
Yes.
I mean, I know I'm so excitable right now, but folks, that's because it's exciting.
Sorry, I mean 30 plus years later.
Yeah, 31 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost. Nope. Yep, 31. I thought we were in 2025 for a second. Whoops.
Yeah. So.
And it's 31 years this month.
That's what we're talking about.
We just got out of school, and I'm freaking going to the theaters to watch Jurassic Park, and it's like, hell yeah.
Yeah. So, narrating the making of James Earl Jones, It's kind of
Yeah.
James Earl Jones is like Morgan Freeman. You don't even have to like you see a GIF of James Earl Jones, you can hear. Like you see a picture of James Earl Jones and like text, you will read it in James Earl Jones's voice.
You see Darth Vader, it's auto, you're hearing James Earl Jones.
Yes.
But you're also hearing Darth Vader.
Again, if you like Chad, have you heard like prior to bringing James Earl Jones in, what Darth Vader would have sounded like? Have you seen that scene?
What scene?
Before they did the dubbing over, basically the scene where Vader is yeah, it didn't sound great, yeah. It's where he's like, like talking to Princess Leia, where he's attacked. Okay, sorry.
Sorry, what scene now? I'm sorry,
The beginning of A New Hope. Basically, like Darth Vader is boarded.
Oh yeah.
Confronting Leia.
Yeah.
And you hear like why am I blanking on his name? Fucking hell.
Oh yeah, you're talking about David Prowse.
Yeah, David Prowse. You actually hear David Prowse's voice because he's doing the dialogue when they're doing the scene before they double.
To the ship above to farm those plants and bring me the passengers. I want them alive.
Yes, that's like you're actually.
I can mimic it.
You're calling David Prowse Scottish nonce.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like holy shit. It's like I thought he sounded German for a second. It's like, and bring me the passengers. And what the? It's like
yes,
yes.
yes. So
like,
like,
holy shit.
like thankfully
you just
they
want to
brought
salute the man.
I think they brought Jones in because like the sounds a bit more menacing.
Yeah, I mean, and having him, or I do believe he had, or James Earl Jones was a very big name at the time, not just because of Star Wars, but other things he's done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was really getting in, or he was. A lot of people just fell in love with his voice, and the man was a stutterer.
Mm-hmm.
The man was a stutterer, and it's like, holy shit, dude, nice.
So, again, I kind of have to skip over some parts because, I mean, I wish I could play these scenes, but Alan Grant distracts the basically distracts the T-Rex because, according to this movie, even though it's like, I think still up for debate, but it's still up for debate whether or not it like movement is what attracts the T-Rex's vision or not. Like it's really not been like we don't really know, but basically in the movie, it's only attracted by movement. It won't see you if you don't move, sort of situation. So Grant basically does this to get the T-Rex to get away from the Jeep. Malcolm does the same thing bravely but stupidly to get him away from the kids. Ends up getting his leg broken, and the lawyer gets eaten as a result. Ellie is not there because she stayed back with the six Triceratops.
Yep.
Hey, the Oz.
Hey. We're too focused on action and not horror anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nedry
the second one. The
second
one's
or Dilophosaurus.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah.
Let me see. If I can get the.
Fetch the stick, boy. Fetch the stick. Fetch the stick. No wonder you're extinct.
Yeah, I want to see like this when the fins come out the side.
Oh yeah, rattlesnake.
Yeah. No wonder you're extinct.
Go forward 20 seconds.
Right here.
Play it here.
That scared the shit out of me when that happens, basically, because he's like just like deep down, even as a kid, I know something's going to happen. I know that's not an herbivore. I know it's not a plant eater. But when like the fins come out and just like the rattlesnake sound happens, I'm like, oh,
it was terrifying. I knew a little bit about them before the movie came out because we saw the toys and shit, and it's like cool. But
yeah, we were talking about that earlier. JR Studios, like a lot of the deaths in this were toned down from the book. Yeah,
and also, folks, in reality, Dilophosauruses do not have the frill, and they're a lot bigger. So this one, or I'm guessing, was a juvenile.
Mm-hmm. Possibly. So, yeah, I'm saying like it's kind of like with the Lost World book, like movie I was talking about earlier, where it's the little girl at the beginning, for like obvious reasons they're not going to show what's happening to her, but like she's like, it's not like not good which will
Yeah,
happen to the girl at the beginning.
Yeah.
They left that out. So.
But yeah, they also did what's known as audio repeat for his yelling because he couldn't yell, or he had a hard time yelling during the scene. So you can literally hear him, the way his yell pitches. I can't exactly don't want to mimic it because it's just too iconic. But you hear it exactly the same when they play it. It's kind of, or it's very, or he didn't want to keep yelling because I believe that he had a sore throat.
Yeah. Possibly there was more than one, but like he did get in the car fast. But still, like I said, it's like he's basically getting gutted. He's basically getting gutted. So I'm like
disemboweled.
Yeah.
Flay minetry.
Basically read the book. Oh, the Oz. I'm gonna take this back. See what you think about this.
Play with the yeah.
I'm gonna see what you think about this, the Oz, real fast.
Oh yeah.
Just
now that we have an Aussie in that, yeah. Fucking clap bears burping, and these people are making it growl, and these people make a T-Rex growl with a burp. Jeez. Fucking Aussies are twisted, man.
Your drop bear was used as part of the growl for the T-Rex.
Yeah, murder Teddy.
Yes.
Clap bear, murder Teddy, drop bear. I can come up, or I will never call him. I'll never call him a koala. Except for right there. But
yeah. I just wanted to show that because I showed that to the chat and then you popped in. So I'm like, oh, for the Aussie. Here you go.
Fatal J's reaction to learning that interesting fact about koalas. I mean, that is still very fresh in my mind.
Yeah, I had to go back. It's basically my copies are packed away in like keepsakes, pretty much, because like, there's like only so much room on bookshelves, and I had basically had to make room for other stuff. But I had to go back and reread Jurassic Park at least. I
just recently got the Thrawn trilogy. I mean, that just arrived today, but I'm on a Star Wars book kick right now, but I also have the Relic and the other, and its book sequel. Oh, that was a great scene too. That scene right there is creepy.
When the T-Rex comes out, like you see Ellie and Muldoon running, and like and Malcolm is like, leave now, because he's seeing he's like basically hearing the sound and then seeing the vibration in the water, the puddles.
Yeah, I'm fairly alarmed here.
Yes. And then like Ellie and Muldoon's like running back to the Jeep, and what breaks out of the through the trees, and you see this shot right here.
Yeah. We got to get going because we're like 10 minutes before that.
Yeah, so
this movie is just that good.
This movie is just that good because there's like a lot of once the shit goes down, you have a T-Rex. The T-Rex goes after the Gallimimus herd.
Yeah,
the Velociraptors, we gotta talk about them because they do what Grant. Oh, the Brachiosaurus, more Brachiosauruses.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she got sneezed on.
Yeah.
That God shot with the Ian Malcolm shot where he's just sitting there on his bed or on his hunch or on his sides.
I love this shot too. Like they're flocking this way, and then the herd comes up. Gallimimus, plant eaters, or herbivores, but they're in herds and flocks.
Yeah. Yep.
Trying to get. You don't really get a shot necessarily of the Velociraptor with Muldoon. You see, like they come from the side, basically, like a quick shot. Come on.
She snips out right there. Yeah, play it here, and there she is. Boom. It's
And
like,
that's where he says,
hello.
clever girl.
Yeah. And that's not the alpha, folks. The alpha was the one he was looking at.
Yeah.
With the gun.
That's why so when he says clever girl, he's talking about the one that like, oh, you got me.
Yeah, it's like clever girl. Fuck.
Yes.
But he at least tried. He tried.
See its face. We don't see like the entirety of the raptor until the end when like they're basically stalking Grant and Ellie.
Yeah.
And Tim and Lex.
We get our very first real look at the raptors in the kitchen. Or no, actually, here's where we get our first good look. But then with Ellie turning on the fence, where freaking we get a Tim kebab, and then in the kitchen is where we get a true full-fledged look of these guys or gals.
Yeah. I joke that one of our family's cats is going to figure out how to open doors. She's like a fucking raptor.
Oh, cat!
She's figured out basically trying to manipulate the doorknob, but because she doesn't have opposable thumbs, she can't open the door. But she's figured out what opens the door. She just can't. She's like a fucking raptor.
Fun fact: kitchen scene, you can see a hand to keep one of the raptors from falling over. No shit.
Here. So unless they figure out how to open doors, which they do.
Right, yeah. Right. I think it's yeah. Cats are yeah. It's like, oh shit! It's like, come on, get the fuck up, you fucker! Open up.
And I love when it calls the other raptor.
Yeah.
I wish I could play the sounds.
Oh yeah, the chirping.
It's like it's looking in, and then it just rears up, kind of like this, and just like calls.
Yeah.
The other one.
Yeah. Yep, right here. The staccato grunts, as they call them. But yeah, that is a good way of doing it.
Oh, I think I saw the hand. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was a kid,
I love it. Nips at the other one.
Yeah, it's like
very cat-like.
Shove me, you motherfucker. But when I was a kid, there's certain.
Yes.
Yeah, hey, Tris. There's certain scenes like where they got around the corner where Tim is just about to get caught. The little roar kind of thing there almost sounds like the damn raptor saying Tim, and I'm thinking to myself, it's got to be a trick of my mind that's happening, because it almost sounds like it says Tim to me, and I'm like, even years later, it's like, yeah, I can almost kind of hear it. It's odd. It's just something that happens with me when I watch it.
They have you well trained, the Oz.
My pets can open doors by annoying me so much I do it for them.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I like it. Nips it.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you called me, remember? I love the jumping sounds they make. The
again, I had to skip through this chat, so I very much apologize. But they're like, it's like, there's so much. Basically, there's been action leading up to here so far, but this action and this part really picks up the pace, because you have them trying to escape the raptors in the kitchen, pretty much. Actually, able to lock one of the raptors in the freezer. Ellie and Ellen find them, and they get to the room where Lex is able to fucking hack into the system to get the locks up and the power back on, pretty much.
Yep.
So,
I mean, the main event is the forum, where the female or where the alpha is there.
Okay, they're trying to. I'm just going forward, basically. So, this shot, I love when it does.
Yeah, I love that. It's like, ooh, hello. Now that's the beta.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go.
The alpha was the one that gets killed last. Yeah.
So they're basically one They're pinning them. One there, and there's that.
Yeah.
So basically, this one here is this one. Sorry, this one is a beta, so this gets eaten first.
Yeah. Love that glint in the eye just
Yeah.
before Rexy.
I was like, I had mixed feelings in this scene as a kid because part of me is like, I don't want the raptors to eat the humans, with the exception of Lex. Don't want the raptors to eat the humans, but then I didn't want the T-Rex to eat the raptors. So I was like,
Right.
I was very beside myself as a kid, going like, like not wanting any of that to happen.
And I'm thinking to myself, I mean, as an 8-year-old, when I'm seeing it, it's like, is the T-Rex a good guy now?
Like no, he just got there at the right time. The raptor was moving, and it got it to me all pretty much. So, and I like you're a T-Rex fanboy pretty much, but it gets the beta, the alpha gets pissed and actually attacks the T-Rex, which I like basically appreciate because it's like very like primal, instinctual, pretty much. Like you basically killed, like basically like I guess in a way one of my followers, like basically, so it's like you killed one of our own. I'm gonna come after you. It could have been chased by like the Rex, but at the same time, it's like it's one of those Deus Ex Machina type of endings where it's like the T-Rex is just in the right spots. So, because I want to see this shot because it goes after the T-Rex. It completely forgets about, doesn't care, completely forgets about the humans and goes after the T-Rex.
Well, yeah, her pack is getting its shit handed to him, essentially.
Yeah.
I love this. I've decided not to endorse your park.
Yeah, so have I.
Yeah, so have I.
Yes. I love that shot. But I wanted to play this here because this is another iconic scene coming up. She kills the alpha. Like T-Rex is like not going to be killed by a velociraptor or anything that small.
Yeah.
And this shot here,
when dinosaurs ruled the world or ruled the earth,
and the sound of like the T-Rex roaring is another iconic shot from this movie. And that's pretty much where the movie ends. Like we do have the shot of them like in the helicopter, basically escaping from the island. So he's torn between the Allosaurus and the Deinonychus.
Mm-hmm.
That's confirmed the T-Rex is chasing the raptor. Okay. That was added by Spielberg because he wanted the audience to see the T-Rex again, which I think works. Which works because, like I said, this is like another iconic shot on movies. Like when that banner falls as the T-Rex is roaring when dinosaurs ruled the earth.
Yep. It's a very symbolic.
And the only decent sequel, in my opinion, to follow this film is the second one, The Lost World. After that, they basically go off a cliff.
Yep.
So I didn't bother with the Jurassic World movies. I heard what they were doing, and I was like, this is fucking retarded.
Oh, yeah. Rexy's in them, though. This girl right here, she's in them.
Yeah. So
she lives all the way through.
Yeah, too. I know that enough, but like hearing what like the plot, I was like, this is stupid. Like you're like this is okay. Oh, yeah. I know like you had to suspend disbelief with the first movie because it's talking about things that like haven't been basically like you're not able to do yet, basically cloning dinosaurs and bringing them back to life and things like that. But I'm like looking at the plot of the Jurassic World movies, I'm like, come the fuck on.
Yeah.
It's what it looked like. It's what it looked like. Yes, I ruined a lot of shit for people. But I'm saying I can't help it. That's what it reminded me.
That fight in Jurassic World was actually pretty decent. I mean, it ended on the proper note with the fucking mosasaur coming up. I mean, I didn't expect that, and it's like, oh shit, that happened.
It's not so much the fight; it's like my impression.
It has great visuals.
It's my impression of what the end of the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
the understanding between Raptor and T-Rex. Yeah.
Yes, which is what I'm like. It's like they're like I
It ain't
equate like two
happening.
cowboys like tipping their hats and like just like walking their separate ways, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a mutual respect between animals is basically what they were
So,
going for. I mean, I can understand in some ways that that has actually happened in nature. That can actually happen. It has, but the way that they did it, it's like freaking Blue's looking up at her. I'm like, you're not gonna eat me, are you? No, get the fuck
yeah,
out of here.
yeah, pretty much. They should have just like walked their separate ways, pretty much. So it's like,
Yeah. And it's like, if I do see her around, though, I will kill you.
well, we'll be talking the sequel next week for the
Yeah.
1s and 2s. So basically, we had to kind of go fast through like and talk about basically our impressions of this movie.
Yeah.
And I might have to do the same thing for next week because of my schedule, but like there's quite a bit more that happens. Other new characters introduced, and there's one scene in particular that kind of pisses me off.
Yeah.
In the second movie, but overall, like I said, it's the only decent sequel in the Jurassic movies, pretty much, in the Jurassic Park trilogy, and like definitely better than the Jurassic World movies.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so that is basically our discussion for Jurassic Park from 1993. Yeah, Eddie Carr. Yeah, rest in peace, Eddie Carr. But anyway, so before I do my outro, Orange Chat, let everybody know where they can find you and all that fun stuff.
Tomorrow, I will be exclusively on X with Mara to discuss The Saint with Val Kilmer.
Mm-hmm.
Friday is Orange Hat Uncensored with Jennifer from Another Planet and Ruben Haynes. Sunday is the weekly recap. Monday, I am gearing up for a new type of stream for Mondays called the Monday Rants, where I bring on people and we can all just rant about whatever we want, get some of that energy out and, just rant. Tuesday is the theme streams for trilogies and whatnot. The Karate Kid trilogy is what's going to be ending out the trilogy thoughts. And I will have an idea for July theme next or by that time. And Barroom Podcast Tuesday nights on Society Reviews channel. And Wednesday here, twice a month for ones and twos.
Okay. Well, for me, obviously, I'll be talking to Saint with Orange Chat tomorrow. Friday, most likely we'll be playing just some X Defiance since they finally are adding Team Deathmatch. So that new mode is dropping for X Defiance. And I'll most likely be playing that. Gigawatt, if you're available, you can join in to test it out. Cowman, I'm pretty sure I'll be fucking playing. My plan is on Saturday to start my extremely frustrating, rage-induced run through Elden Ring. Yes, my plan is to start playing that this Saturday in the evening. Won't go for very long necessarily at a time. I can't really, but I'm planning to do that. Like I said, very much rage-inducing, frequently dying, stressful streams. But anyway, and then Sunday, Talk Nerdy to Us will be on my channel. I do that with My Nerdy Home, and it'll be on my channel 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So we basically bring up topics, and you see two nerdy ladies break down the cringe and pop culture news of the week and anything moving forward. So yes, the Dodge game, yeah. This is my Discord. I do watch parties occasionally here, as well as the voice channel for multiplayer games. So join in for that. Like I did a watch party of the first two Shrek movies and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish recently, but I've also shown horror movies, comedies, and things like that. So whatever the people and wrestling streams and whatever people are in the mood for. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I have to get going, but have a good rest of your day or evening wherever you are in the world. And getting the text message, and I will see you all next time. So take care and peace.
Later.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.